Hello guys, I'm Christian from Base, and whilst we don't sell properties, one of the important things we do is give our clients a consultancy service to make sure that when they do decide to sell a property, they get the best possible results. So there's three things we do as part of that. We give a client a realistic understanding of a sales price and market activity. We help them identify 2 to 3 ideal agents that would be best placed to sell their type of property in that market. And then we also advise our clients on what they can do to the property to make sure it presents in the best possible condition, so when it goes to market, that launch is really successful, because that first time you go to market, those first 2 weeks of market activity are insanely important. So we're here at Ada Road today. This is a property that we've let and managed for the last 10 to 15 years. The clients have decided to sell, and we have been going through that process of getting this property ready for sale. So we're just going to talk you through some of the things we've done to make sure this property is perfectly ready to hit the market later this week. So starting outside, we've not done too much out here. The front had just got a bit messy and overgrown. The front hadn't been brushed and cleaned down for a while. So literally that's all we've done. We've just tidied it up, cut everything back, tied up the front, because again, that curb appeal, that first impression when people turn up for a viewing and they're stood outside waiting for the agent or waiting for the viewing before them to finish, you want them to feel excited about what they're about to walk into. So that's what we've tried to create, is just a nice clear space. Now let's go and have a look at the proper house. So coming into the main living space in this property, there's really 3 core things we've done with this property. Now, consulting with the clients, they had quite a specific budget in mind, and what was very clear early doors was that putting in a new kitchen, putting in a new bathroom was definitely not going to be in that scope. So we really had to focus on where we were going to deliver the most value, and we really focused on 3 core areas: flooring, paintwork, and light fittings. The flooring was a bit disjointed here before. There was a beautiful dark solid wood floor in here, but it had seen much better days. To the rear of the property, there was a totally different style and colour laminate flooring, so it was really disjointed. The walls, as you can imagine, after 15-20 years of being let out, had definitely seen better days, and it had quite a basic kind of just all white colour palette throughout. So what we wanted to do was freshen the property up, raise the visual condition of the property, but also bring a really nice, modern, stylish feel to the property. And so we've put in this gorgeous engineered oak flooring throughout the ground floor. We've introduced this modern colour palette throughout, and we'd like to do colour drenching at the moment, which is a single colour across woodwork, walls and ceilings. It just ties everything together. And the light fittings were both old and quite outdated and basic, so we've introduced Habitat light fittings throughout the property. And I think what you'll agree is it's just a really nice, clean, modern space. Now, to the rear of the property here, there's a side return. There's not a lot we could have done with this. It's not the most exciting of spaces, but quite a lot of bits and pieces, pots and knackered old buckets are kind of accumulated over the years. So we just cleared all the rubbish out, we scrubbed it down, we went over a lot of the guttering and pipe work and just made sure everything is neat and tidy. So it's just clear and ready to go. Now, let's go and have a look down the back of the property. So as you come down this bit to the side, there's this utility room. Now, again, with the budget we were working to, it didn't make sense to start thinking about completely refitting it. So we've kept the original units. It is a utility room after all. It doesn't need to be bougie. What we did do, colour palette, light fittings, the floor had definitely seen better days. So we've just put in this nice terrazzo effect vinyl flooring, which just makes it feel nice, clean and modern. And where we did spend some time and money was it had a very tired and quite unappealing guest WC down here. So we've completely revamped this room with a new WC and these gorgeous modern terracotta tiles throughout. I think you'll agree it's totally transformed that into a really lovely little guest WC. And so now we're going to come down into the beautiful modern extension open plan kitchen diner we've got here. Now, As I touched on earlier, the clients didn't have the budget to go ripping out and putting in new kitchens, and kitchens can also be tricky. It's well known that kitchens and bathrooms sell a property, but also it can be a Marmite affair. You go for a really high-end kitchen, if it's not exactly what someone imagines, it can put it off. So what we wanted to do was leave the kitchen here. If people want to come in and upgrade it, new worktops, new doors, they can. If they want to go whole hog and put in a new kitchen, they can. But we just want the space to feel workable. Again, we've introduced the palette, the light fittings, the flooring, and you've just got this beautiful space. So coming in here, you can imagine yourself cooking meals in this kitchen. You can imagine friends sat at the breakfast bar having a drink. You can imagine having a dining table here with your family or friends gathered round on a beautiful day like today on a weekend or in an evening. And it's just about creating that imaginative space. So when people walk into a room, every room, they instantly start imagining themselves living in that space. And it opens out to this really gorgeous kind of low maintenance, almost Japanese style garden. Again, we really didn't want to do too much out of here. We had a bit of a tidy up. We cut back some plants, removed some weeds. We've swept back the patio, but really we've just left it as it is. People can see they can walk straight in here. If they're lucky enough to have a beautiful day like today, you can easily imagine yourself on a weekend, sat out here, table and chairs with a newspaper and a coffee, or with your friends in the evening, having a little drink in the garden. And that's what it's all about. It's just about creating those kind of imaginary lifestyle moments, because that's when people start falling in love with the property. Now let's go and have a look upstairs. So heading upstairs, again, very much the same kind of ideas applied throughout. We have replaced the carpets. We've stayed very neutral. We went for a slightly higher grade, more bougie, high pile carpet. And of course, we've applied a new color scheme upstairs. So let's go and have a look. So straight away as we come upstairs, you come into this, which is kind of the middle of the 3 bedrooms. And again, with all the bedrooms, there's a common theme. They're really good spaces. They've all got big windows, fantastic natural light, beautiful carpet, nice wall color, good light fittings, and the focus on the window. Around here, we've got the bathroom. Now, we're not going to dive in there for 2 reasons. 1, it's a very small bathroom. 2, with the client's budget, we've not done a lot in there. So again, colour scheme, we've refreshed all the grouting and the tiles. We've put in new mastic sealants around the appliances. Again, just nice, fresh, clean, but otherwise we've left it to it. So let's go and have a look at one of the other bedrooms. And so coming in here, this bedroom actually already had these stripped floorboards, so we've stuck exactly with what it was. We haven't even needed to sand and varnish them again. So just the color scheme. Some of the guttering needed a bit of love. They hadn't been cleaned and cleared for a while, so as part of the project, we've cleared all the gutters and downpipes. So again, any buyers coming in, there are no questions about, oh, what's that going to be like? Has that been well maintained? Is that blocked up? It takes all those kind of daily question queries that a buyer might have out, and all they're focusing on is what an amazing room this is going to be to stay in. And then last of all, we come into this incredible front bedroom. Again, the kind of skin and bones of the room is here. These massive front-facing sash windows, tons of built-in storage. There wasn't much we had to do here. So again, it's just about getting out the way, making sure everything looks nice. An important part of our project was on completion, was getting cleaners down here with a massive emphasis on the windows. So one of the big things we did was make sure the windows were cleaned inside and out, because they are the eyes of a house, as people say. And again, you want that pure natural light streaming into the rooms on a viewing. So whenever we advise a client on this, we're always trying to achieve a core objective. And that core objective is that we want people to fall in love with the property. We want people, from the moment they arrive outside, the moment they walk in the door, the moment they walk into those rooms, going through the house, they're imagining themselves living there, they're falling in love with the property, and in fact, they can't imagine not living here. Because when you're selling a property, that's what you want. You want at least 2, but ideally 3, 4, 5 people to be in love with your house, because that's when you get a choice of good offers. You get an array of different buying positions according to what you want, and also typically that's how you're going to get your best price. So we're really excited to see this goes on the market in the coming days with the sales agent, and we can't wait to see how it gets on, but we think this one's going to absolutely fly.